If y'all come on here one day and you're like, oh my god, your hair is so gorgeous and perfect, just know that I had enough of my real hair and I shaved it off. I bought me a nice lace front. I don't have any particular attachment to any of the hair that I own naturally. Hey, yeah, welcome back. If you don't know me, I'm TK, and this channel is all about doing some makeup, doing some food, having a lot of fun. If that sounds like a good time to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. Leave a like on this video. Y'all, it's summertime coming up in 4 weeks officially. For those of you living in the South, it's probably kind of already here because we've had some 80, 90 degree days this week. Normally by this time we are living in Satan's armpit. We haven't quite made it there yet, but a few days were pretty bad. This week we are continuing our series of Music and Makeup Monday summertime songs. Last week we did country music.
Got my toes in the water, ass in the sand.
And this week we are going to tackle R&B. This one was tricky because we have defined summer songs as being about things that you do in the summer activities. So yes, Lizzo's Good as Hell came out in the summertime and it was a great summertime jam for a lot of us, but it's not a summertime song. Like, it's not really talking about doing summertime things. In the country music realm, we found out that was going to the lake, going to the beach, Jamaica, Mexico, those kind of things. In R&B, it's a little bit different. We're going to talk a little bit more about that. If it sounds interesting to you, then stick around. We'll be right back.
Yeah. Oh, they don't know me like they think they know me.
Okay, R&B, summer songs. Let's talk about the makeup, then we'll talk about the music. We're going to do a coral look. I kind of bounced this around wanting to really do a coral look. Not doing them a lot of times I'll stick to like blues, greens, cooler colors. So I'm gonna give a coral look a try. Definitely got some encouragement from ScaryGhostStories. I'll leave a link to her channel. If you like ghost stories and you like relaxing voices, you are going to love her channel. I'll leave a link in the description. She was kind of like, yeah, try the coral look. Go ahead and do it. And as it happens, I have a palette I have not even used yet that should fit the bill very nicely. And that is the Juvia's Place Nubian 3 Coral palette. We have this beautiful brown. We've got these two gorgeous peachies. We've got this beautiful, looks like an inner corner maybe, or possibly this, but yeah, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Beautiful coral palette, and that is the one we are going to be using today. I'm still trying to decide on some yellow, whether I want to put that in there, but if I do, we're gonna get that from the BH Cosmetics Summer in Saint-Tropez palette. It has a really, really nice yellow down here in the corner, and feel like that if we decide to go with a little bit of yellow in the inner corner, that's probably where that's gonna come from. Okay, I got my eye flappies on. What should we call these? Eye flip-flops? They kind of are. Okay, so here's what I learned about R&B, summertime music, as it relates to summertime activities. It is very much about the block party. It is very much about the backyard cookout. It is very much about the things that happen in an urban environment during the summer as opposed to traveling, going somewhere, whatever. For R&B music, a lot of it relates to more or less like your everyday or just your weekend summer vibe, which is actually kind of cool. When I was in my 20s, I lived in the inner city of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. I know you're probably like, ooh, the mean streets of Lancaster. Everybody knows Lancaster as sort of this Amish community, and that's how they market it. It's a farm community. It's an Amish community. Let me tell you something. Living in the inner city of Lancaster, it is like living in Philadelphia. It's basically like a little Philadelphia. And in some areas, it's more like North Philly than South Philly. One of the apartments that I lived in had actually had like 3 people killed in a drive-by. It's not exactly not the mean streets of Lancaster. The urban culture is very alive and well in the inner city of Lancaster. When I was 20, like, I didn't care much about where I lived. I had an apartment. I had got married. We weren't making a ton of money. And so we lived in the inner city where housing was cheap. The neighborhood we lived in was kind of like everybody knew everybody. Everybody looked out for everybody. We looked out for each other's kids. We looked out for each other. There were some elderly people that lived in the neighborhood, had lived there 30, 40 years. And, you know, we would check on them, make sure they were okay. Sometimes bring them food. Like, our block was our block. Like, we kind of took care of each other. In the summertime, that was kind of no different. The way that Lancaster was laid out, it's like a grid. You can go around. If a block is blocked off, it's blocked off. You can go around. Like, it's not a problem. We would petition the city or apply to the city for like a block party. So we block off both ends of the street. Everybody come out, have a good time. People bring the barbecues out. Like, it wasn't anything planned or catered. You know, we just all brought barbecues to the street, and we... because a lot of us lived in apartments. You couldn't barbecue there, but you could barbecue outside, barbecue in the middle of the street. And we would just feed everybody, and the kids would play. And some of the people that actually had houses, that put a sprinkler out in the street, you know, and kids are running it. Like, it was fun. Summertime was really a lot about just hanging out with and getting to know your neighbors. And we would talk about the things that we grew up. We would talk about growing up. We would talk about things we struggled with. And it was just like a really good time. And that, you know, the summer sun is kind of like setting, and we're drinking a few beers, just talking and vibing and chilling and having a really good time. And like, you didn't need a beach, you didn't need a boat, you didn't need any of that stuff. You just needed that community, that sense of community. And it was like a nice bonding time for us. And this is where the urban summer song comes in. So the first song we're going to talk about is Summer Nights by Lil Rob. This song I think is tremendously underrated. Lil Rob was creating music long before he got a hit with Summer Nights. He said he got his nickname Lil Rob in 3rd grade, when he would do like breakdancing. You know, of course, everybody give you a nickname, right? His first tape was out in 92 when he was 16. His influences were the Gap Band, the SOS Band, LL Cool J, Sugar Hill. He calls his music neighborhood music because he said he used to just write about things that would happen in his neighborhood. Summer Nights is absolutely no different. That perfectly describes this song, because it talks about what, you know, you do at like these backyard parties, these summer barbecues, these street, you know, block parties and stuff like that. It's cruising. It's like kicking back with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever, and just having like a really good time. He says that the backyard summer parties and summer nights were how he got inspired to write the song. And he just wanted the song to talk about like a typical summer night in the city, hanging out with friends, and then maybe hanging out with a girl later on in the evening, and just being like, yeah, there's something about those summer nights. So the song was a sleeper hit. It only got to 36 on the Hot 100. I think it deserved to be higher, to be honest. That song is so, oh my God, it's so good. It's such a great example of the fusion of new hip hop, old hip hop. You could tell he was influenced by the old R&B bands. It's a huge part of what makes A Summer Night in the Neighborhood absolutely perfect. It's one of my favorites. The video is even really summery too, which I love. So check out the video too. The second song is one that I'm sure all y'all expected to be on this list, and so I'm not here to disappoint you. It is DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, Summertime. This song is definitely a neighborhood, what you might call a neighborhood song. It was released in May of 1991 as the lead single from their 4th studio album. Did you know they had that many albums? I didn't. That was called Home Base, and it was produced by Chicago-based producers Hula and K-Fingers. It was described by Steve Huey from AllMusic as a warm, breezy reminiscence about growing up in Philadelphia and attending barbecues where the whole community showed up. Like I said, that was exactly our experience too. Kind of to see and be seen. And if you think we didn't go get new outfits for a block, to stay home for a block party, yes, we did. Yes, we did. It had all the vibes of a typical Fresh Prince number. It was clearly a more mature effort. Rolling Stone magazine placed it at number 9 in its 2013 list of best summer songs of all time. It said, over a funky, laid-back beat, a young Will Smith drops a sweet ode to hanging out and driving around the streets of his native Philadelphia. The song is just so smooth. And again, it just talks about all the things that take place on like a typical summer Saturday. We're getting up, we're going to play, getting up, going to the mall, gotta get a new short set, maybe get some new sneakers, go to play basketball, go home, shower off, go to the barbecue, go get your car, cruise around, or meet up in the park. Everybody's dressing up, dressing to be seen, girls looking amazing, guys just came from the barbershop. It is so much about those typical happenings on any given summer Saturday in the city. The song won a Grammy Award for Best Rap Performance of a Duo or Group at the 1992 Grammy Awards. It spent a week at number 1 on the U.S. Hot R&B Rap charts, and it reached number 4 on the Billboard Hot 100. And the song also samples Kool and the Gang's Summer Madness. So you hear him in the song say, and that's the Fresh Prince's new definition of Summer Madness. That's an ode to the sample that they used from Kool and the Gang's Summer Madness. Man, I'm not going to say those weren't good times. I mean, we might have been struggling a little bit financially, but we had enough to get some hot dogs and hamburgers and have a barbecue and, you know, and just hang out with people, have a block party. Like, it was fun. It was fun. Have a little bit of beer, have a little bit of a party. It was nice. Very simple time, really. No interwebs yet. Very little of the interwebs thing. So they described the Fresh Prince Summertime as a more mature effort. And to be honest, the Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff had done some just some fun and funky youthful rap up to that point. Like Nightmare on My Street. Parents just don't understand. But they were not ready. But they said that was a more mature effort. They had yet to see the next song that we're going to talk about, Miami, from Will Smith's solo album, Big Willie Style. Now that song, that song is hot. A lot of hot themes. Hot as Miami, for real. 1998 single, his debut solo album, Big Willie Style. It samples the Whispers' 1979 hit, The Beat Goes On. Larry Smith of Billboard said that Will Smith should have no problem maintaining the momentum of his newest album with this third single following Getting Jiggy With It and Just the Two of Us. He said this song talks Miami up with an ode to the heat, style, and hip factor of that city. Very mature place for young Will Smith to be. Miami Beach is very well known for its ostensibly healthy lifestyle of South Beach. And everybody remembers Sobe water. Remember that? They still make that? I don't know if they make it. I haven't seen it in a while, but I used to drink the out of it. It's got a lot of outdoor dining, a lot of shopping, art galleries. It's figured prominently in several movies and TV shows. Probably everybody watched right? And sometimes I watch that show just to see the beach scenes. Just to look at the beach. That's sad. The way Will Smith talks about Miami, it's like you almost have to get up and go. And Miami, I think, with the clubs and the summer and the weather, I think it just sort of has that summer all the time type of vibe, you know. The song charted at number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it also won an MTV VMA Best Male Video Award. The video actually features Gloria Estefan's Conga, and it shows Will Smith and his band performing on the beach. I wanted to find 5 songs that were summer songs, actually, and I kind of struggled a little bit to do that. There's a lot of songs out there that are like definitely summer songs. They weren't really talking about much other than hooking up and that kind of thing. Definitely found plenty of party songs that, you know, maybe talk about the summer. The closest that kind of came to my 5th one was This Is How We Do It by Montel Jordan, and I scrapped it off my list because not because it's not a good song, it's a great song, but it just didn't really seem summer. When I watched the video, I was like, you know, this is really just a house party. I mean, house parties were all the time. Like, you had a house party every weekend that you could go to, winter or summer. Mostly house parties were popular in the winter. And I was like, I don't know if this is really a good summer song, but I'm gonna make an honorable mention of it because I really do like the song. Man, Montel Jordan, he just had this, again, with that song, he had this fusion of the old R&B and the new R&B. To me, I just think the flavor of This Is How We Do It was so nice. It had like a funk vibe, but it also had a soul vibe, like deep soul, but then it also had a R&B vibe. He was very good at mixing and matching different styles. So even though I said I wasn't going to include it there, I just included it. And that brings us to our last song, which again, I am going to include in this, but you might go, I don't know if I would call that a summer song. You might be cheating a little bit there. Well, it's my video. I'm going to cheat if I want to. The last song I would include is Today Was a Good Day. I gotta tell you why I'm including it. Because it's got such a cool backstory. Some very cool things happened surrounding the song. And I'm an Ice Cube fan. So, yeah. That's pretty much it. I'm including it because I think that everything he's talking about are things that would occur on a typical summer day, probably on a typical summer Saturday in South Central LA, okay? Ice Cube said that the inspiration for the song, his life at the time, he was on top of the rap game. It was summer of 1992. He was up in his hotel, had all the money in the world he could think of. He was in like a really good frame of mind, and he said, you know, okay, there's been riots. People know that I'll deal with that in my music. I rap all this gangsta stuff. What about all of the good days I've had? And that was the inspiration for it. It was a good day. Samples the Ozzy Brothers, Footsteps in the Dark, and Sexy Mama by the Moments. Here's the cool backstory to the song, or actually just sort of a thing that kind of like happened on the side. Some people on the internet were like, what day was this? Having a little trouble, Ice, figuring out exactly what day you were talking about. He threw out some hints in the song, but people were actually trying to nail down what day was it exactly that he was talking about. So they started picking up on some of the lyrics of the song. They were watching Yo MTV Raps. They were watching The Lakers Beat the Supersonics. Tumblr comedian Donovan Strain looked at the lyrics and he was like, okay, listen. There was only one day where Yo MTV Raps was still on air. There was no smog in LA. And beepers and pagers were still commercially available. So remember he says, I got a beep from Kim and she could all night. YouTube don't like that word. YouTube needs to get over itself. And the Lakers beat the Supersonics. And also that Ice Cube wouldn't have had any filming obligations that day. So he could just be out like doing stuff and riding around or whatever. He said the only day that could have been is January 20th, 1992. But then some other people on the internet were like, I don't know, because January 20th, 1992, Yo MTV Raps did not air that day. So they couldn't have been actually watching it that day. And they also said that it's unlikely that Ice Cube got a beat from Kim for a booty call because the Kim would have been his fiance by that time. And at that point in time, she was 8 months pregnant. So due to these errors, some of the bloggers were like, well, it's probably November 30th, 1988. Now, if you watch the video, though, this is why I say, neither of those dates work, because this is summertime song. This is a summertime song, okay? Not January, not November, summertime. He has the top down in his car, and he says he's got a drop top, and if I hit the switch, right? The whole damn time, he's got the top down. You are not going to do that in November or January. He goes to play basketball in the park. You see little kids out riding their bikes and playing around a cul-de-sac, having a good time. And so my thought is that this is a summer song all day. Now, that is the nifty backstory about this song. Here's the really cool thing that actually happened with this song. It's just such a neat story. I just have to include it. In the song, there's a line that says, I even saw the Goodyear blimp, and it read, Ice Cube's a pimp. So in 2014, Ice Cube, agreed to raise and donate $25,000 for a South Los Angeles charity called A Place Called Home. And it was an after-school youth center. If the Goodyear blimp would display the lyrics from the song. And after he spoke about this fundraising campaign on Jimmy Fallon, Goodyear was like, yeah, we'll do it. It's cool, right? Great cause. But as they kind of mulled over, this was like an after-school youth center, and what the lyrics of the song were, they were kind of like, how about we display something a little bit different? And so they went a slightly different direction with it. In the end, they ended up displaying Today's a Good Day, Flying for a Good Cause, a place called home. And to be fair, I can't fault them for that, and he ended up donating the money. Everything worked out. And so because of that song, regardless of what you think of it, regardless of whether you think, oh, that song just doesn't fly today or play today or is too hard or whatever, it was a good day, made it a very good day for a lot of kids who go to a place called home for their after-school programs. The song was very well received by critics. It was described as having a very smoothed out vibe, just like a summer day. And it got to number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100. And it got to number 7 on the Billboard Hot R&B chart. And it got to number 1 on the Billboard Hot Rap Singles chart. I'm going to finish this up with some lashes, foundation, and I'll be right back to wrap up. Okay, and we're back with, this is our coral look. Scary Ghost Stories, this is for you. How did the eye ultimately come out? We used the Nubian 3 Coral from Juvia's Place, those gorgeous shades. We used this one, and that one. We used the Summer in Saint-Tropez palette. All I really did was go in for that yellow right down here called Intoxicating. But I love these BH palettes, by the way. The formulas are really nice. But that inner corner there of gold is Lemon from Glam Light's Ice Cream Truck, which is, again, one of my favorite summer palettes. I'm definitely going to be using that a ton this year. Let's wrap up our R&B summer songs. These songs really took me back. They really took me back to my own days of block parties and just vibing with the neighbors, backyard barbecues, just chilling with the family. Like, it's so cool, that time of the evening where the sun's like not really, it's still light out, but the sun isn't like beating on you, and you got a cold beer and you're eating the dessert, or the barbecue is just kind of still hanging in the air. You're just sitting with family and you're talking about stuff. You're talking about, maybe plans you got for the summer, or maybe you're just talking about stuff you're going to do or you've done. Everybody hanging around, kids playing in the yard, and the sun is going down and the lightning bugs are coming up in the yard. Maybe you got the string lights turned on, because you never took them down from Christmas. No way. It's just that vibe, that urban vibe. The sound of the street is still going on. You still hear the cars, and you still hear a lot of people and shit going on in other people's yard. That is all that. That was a big part of my 20s when my kids were little and we had block parties. I remember those people, and that's what these songs are pretty much about, is as Lil Rob described it, neighborhood songs. So our first song was Summer Nights by Lil Rob. His influences were the SOS Band, the Gap Band, Run DMC, LL Cool J, Sugar Hill. He calls his music neighborhood music, and this song is absolutely no different. It is all about just that summer Saturday night, vibing in the neighborhood, backyard barbecue. The song was a sleeper hit. It got to 36 on the Hot 100, but among summerphiles like us, it's a huge part of what makes the summer night in the neighborhood perfect. The next song is Summertime by DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. That was released in May 1991, and it describes all the things from beginning to end: going to the mall, getting new fit, getting new shoes, hitting the courts, hitting the showers, going to barbecue, waxing your car, cruising the strip, cruising the circuit, going down the park, parking, sitting with friends or whatever. It looks like a freaking car show. Like, it wraps up all of that in this great, funky, laid-back beat. It was released in May 1991. It won a Grammy Award for the Best Rap Performance by Duo Group at the 1992 Grammys. And it spent a week at #1 on the US Hot R&B singles and reached #4 on Billboard Hot 100. The next song is another one by Will Smith. He Was All Grown Up, first solo album, Big Willie style. This was the 3rd single from it, behind Getting Jiggy With It and Just the Two of Us. And it is all about the eternal summer city, Miami, and all the things that go with it. Cosmopolitan style, art galleries, outdoor eating, celebrities everywhere, South Beach, the healthy lifestyle. The city is so Hollywood that it's actually been featured in many Hollywood movies and TV shows. It's basically a city where there is summer all the time, and Will Smith's song pays tribute to the heat, the style, the hip factor of the city. It charted at #17 on the Billboard Hot 100 and won an MTV Music Award for Best Male Video. Okay, our honorable mention was This Is How We Do It by Montel Jordan. I didn't really include in summer songs because it was more like, if you watch the video, it was really just more about a house party. House parties happen like kind of all year round. So it's kind of like, I don't know if that's really a summer song. But I did mention it because it's a very fun song, still one of those neighborhood songs, still one of those that everybody gets together and kind of hang out. And it's been featured in a lot of movies. It was very popular. It hit #1 on Billboard Hot 100 in April 15th of 1995. It earned a platinum certification from the RIAA. Our final song is Today Was a Good Day by Ice Cube. This song also does kind of the same thing that Summertime does. It sort of breaks it down. It's like, I got up in the morning, it was a good day. No smog. I had breakfast, headed out, dropped the top in my car. Where y'all playing basketball? We went to play basketball. And around, I got a triple double. I just felt like this song had sort of all those things of the summer day vibe. Maybe it was just more of like just a typical Saturday, nothing special going on, no family cookouts or whatever, but I'm just hanging out today. It was a good day. I do understand the underlying motif of this was a hard thing to have for people of color in South Central without getting hassled by police, without getting shot. I get where he was going with that, but the song itself at face value, I felt was kind of a summertime jam. Ice Cube even said that the inspiration for the song was the summer of '92. He was at the top of his game. He was up in a hotel, all the money he could want, and he was thinking to himself like, yeah, there's riots. My fans know that I rap about that and I'm going to handle it in my music. But what about the times when I actually have a good day? And that was the inspiration for writing this song. The internet discussed it. They tried to figure out what the good day was. One of them was January 20th, 1992. The other one that was come up with November 30th, 1988. Trying to take from the lyrics of the songs. When did the Lakers beat the Supersonics? When was there no smog in LA? When were beepers still a thing? It's trying to take that, figure it out. They came up with 2 winter days, and I'm like, no. He says he has a drop top. He says he's riding around. He's playing basketball. I don't think that's going to happen in January and November. So I feel like, based on the video, this is a summer song. Ice Cube himself, though, he said this was not a song that was about any one particular day. It just was about good things happening, doing chill things, and having a good time. One of the great sort of feel-good stories that came out of this was that Ice Cube agreed to raise and donate $25,000 to a South Los Angeles charity called A Place Called Home, which was an after-school program for little kids. And he agreed to do it if the Goodyear blimp would display the lyrics from the 3rd verse, where he says, I even saw the Goodyear blimp and it read Ice Cube's a pimp. They were like, yeah, we'll do it. And then they were like, wait a minute, this is a charity for little kids after school. How about we just display the words, today's a good day, and flying for a good cause, A Place Called Home. And that was the agreement that they both came to. And so A Place Called Home got a big boost from this song. And I think that was probably a very good day for them. I hope you had fun hanging out this week. I hope you're getting ready for summer and all the fun things we're going to be able to do this year that we weren't able to do last year. I hope that you're taking care of yourself so that you can go do those things, take care of each other. And as always, I will see you in my next one. Bye, y'all.
Louboutin dripping, bleeding out my sneaks. throw my crown at your face in case you forgot I was king. I hope it leaves a mark if you forget where you're destined to be. Higher than wings, flying outside of Caesarea.
This is how we do it. This is how we do it.